This is a how-to video on using Blogger, making a blog on Blogger, navigating the options of making a blog briefly explained, as it is very easy using the layout options with only a few things you need to be aware of that can be frustrating to troubleshoot, so I am going to be showing those things. This is one of the blogs I created on Blogger. It is free to make a blog on Blogger. Google bought them long ago, and so if you have a Gmail email account you can start a blog just like starting a YouTube account. An alternative to Blogger for making and hosting a blog is WordPress. The first thing to do is sign up, pick a name, but maybe don't name your blog yet, and just leave it as numbers, though you can change it later if you want. Once you do that, the next thing you will want to do is pick a theme. There are a lot of pre-made templates available within the Blogger templates section. You can adjust them to your liking, though it can be difficult to arrive at exactly what you want. However, there are a good amount of default selectable gadgets and ways to move things around, which I will be showing. Additionally, you can edit HTML code to make it however you want, but I am not aware of much about that.
So here's the quick and dirty from what I've learned from using Blogger over the years. They've recently changed it. I don't even know if it's recently, but they changed it from a little bit more of a simple to understand layout as far as editing your blog template. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. I jumped over to try to edit the template I had, and it looks simple, like they simplified it, but I like the older version where it gave you a overhead and then you could pick colors and font size and stuff like that, background color. So it's the same thing, but now it's on the left instead of being at the top. So the tips, if you're going to use pages, you'll publish a page and then be like, where does it go? You have to go to the top of the layout, where it's header, page layout, go into the options there, and then you have to put a check mark next to each page that you want to display. Does it go? You have to go to the top of the layout, where it's header, page layout, go into the options there, and then you have to put a check mark next to each page that you want to display. So if you've got something like a disclaimer or contact page, and then you additionally can set it, if you put a widget or a gadget, they call it a widget in Blogger, let's call it a gadget, on a blog page, so it'll display on the sidebar, whatever your layout is. You need to go down the layout page to the page layouts and add that gadget for pages. Then you have to go to that gadget and put a check mark next to the page you want to display. So it's a little bit of back and forth to get pages to display. But that's it's fine. You're not supposed to be posting pages. It's part of the setup. You're supposed to be posting posts on the blog. So that's the tip there. Otherwise, it's relatively simple. There are some bugs. One that I have specifically is with this template, since I customized it some, it is only displaying a certain number of tiles on the main page. Meaning you can go to the layout and select display 12 tiles, 20 tiles, 6 tiles, until you get to the next page where it does it again. And then the next page will display that again. Since this isn't one of them scrolling kind of blogs. But I mean, you can make it if you set it for 50 or whatever. It'd be, I think a page is like 9 of them. So the problem was I would select 9, but it only displays 7. Found you could select 2 different places of where to display total page number to be displayed on the home page, blog pages, index pages, and neither of them were changing it. So I found an answer eventually. What you have to do is put a page break at the top of every post. Don't know why. Some people were saying you could just put a picture at the top, but another one was saying put a page break. So I did that to all the posts, and sure enough, there went my 12 tiles per page. So the good thing about Blogger is you can set up a default page setting. So every time you go to make a post, it automatically fills the page with that information. Just like if you were making a video and you wanted your intro and outro to already be there for you, you could do the same sort of thing. Click new post and it'll already have whatever information you want there already. But that sort of gets into HTML if you really wanted to, but you can just put, whatever your name is, and every time you do a post, your name would be there. But it does put it into an HTML kind of format. But then you can click it and see it in regular format. So there's nothing to be scared about there. But attempting to edit a template, other than the layout, the widgets and stuff, you don't want to be doing that. So one of the other neat things is labels. Don't miss the labels gadget widget. What that does is at the bottom of a post, it displays the keyword. And if you add the labels widget, someone could navigate your blog on the side if you're making cooking tips, camping, cooking, home cooking, whatever, different. And on mine, it displays on the tiles when you scroll over them, navigate over them. So that's a neat way to search your blog easily. If you're interested, I will be putting this blog template in the link below and be hosted on Google Drive. So you can jump over there, download that, and then you go to the theme. The top there is the restore. Under customize, that button, there's a restore. You do that, and it will come preloaded with like my header text. So you got to jump into that layout gadget, change that to whatever you want yours to be. There may be a couple other gadget things, like you might have my image. So just swap that, change the link. It just goes to Google, Wikipedia. So that'll get you up and running. If you want to change the background color, you just do that with the template editor. Button colors, stuff like that. Additionally, one thing to know is that you can have multiple blogs with one email account. It's in the top left. You click on that and you can just select one blog or the other. It'll take you to the page where you get to edit your post. So you don't need to use one email for one blog and another for another. If you go down into the settings, you can set it to display for search engines or not. There's just a minimal amount of options there. If you're using the default template, it may be showing your profile. You can select not to show that. You can select not to show basically everything, or to show it. So that's the trick to everything here, is just spending time inside of each gadget, seeing what it does. For instance, you could set up your main page and have an image, and it could be a giant image, but if you select to minimize it, then it would be small, and then all your text would change, and it could be behind your text or in front of it. So there's some tooling around to do with that. And you can expand the size of the blog page. If you're someone who uses a smartphone, you're going to want to pull your blog up and see how it displays. So I'm not sure about that. It could be that you maybe don't want to be having 12 tiles on a page. This is too much scrolling. You only want 4. And tap next. Next, I guess that's where labels will be coming in very handy. So that's all. Blogger's good. You could look up WordPress. I believe they charge something. They may have a free trial for some default stuff. More than a trial. But I've been using Blogger. It's alright. If you copy paste stuff, then a last tip for you. If you copy something from like a Word document or a web page, and then it's displaying weird on your blog, if you go to the post up in the top right, there's a little button there you can press to remove the formatting, which would just turn it all into basic text. Even though if you click over to the HTML side of things, it'll all be there. But it reverts it all back to just basic. So you saw how the one page was showing white. That was from copy pasting. I never bothered to reset it. Alright, enjoy.
This is a how-to video on using Blogger, making a blog on Blogger, navigating the options of making a blog briefly explained, as it is very easy using the layout options with only a few things you need to be aware of that can be frustrating to troubleshoot, so I am going to be showing those things. This is one of the blogs I created on Blogger. It is free to make a blog on Blogger. Google bought them long ago, and so if you have a Gmail email account you can start a blog just like starting a YouTube account. An alternative to Blogger for making and hosting a blog is WordPress. The first thing to do is sign up, pick a name, but maybe don't name your blog yet, and just leave it as numbers, though you can change it later if you want. Once you do that, the next thing you will want to do is pick a theme. There are a lot of pre-made templates available within the Blogger templates section. You can adjust them to your liking, though it can be difficult to arrive at exactly what you want. However, there are a good amount of default selectable gadgets and ways to move things around, which I will be showing. Additionally, you can edit HTML code to make it however you want, but I am not aware of much about that.
So here's the immediate nightmare you're going to encounter with the templates. you'll find that you want stuff to be displayed on the left side. But you find a template that's perfect, but everything's on the right side. Or everything's up above. Everything navigation-wise is up above. So you could tool around with the gadgets and the widgets, and you really gotta find the template that does exactly what you want. So you're gonna be spending some time swapping your blog around. So I wouldn't get too involved with customizing gadgets and stuff, because as you switch from template to template, some have other gadgets added already, some don't. But, yeah, Blogger always has this certain amount. But yeah, the HTML is the thing that makes it different. So you're kind of stuck with that and just able to add some options or not, or it'll display correctly if you get, templates, whatever, ocean view, and you're like, I want to put the contact page on the right, and that could just be catastrophic for some reason and move everything. I don't know. It's been a while since I've goofed around with it, but that's what you're in for.
How-to video on using Blogger, making a blog on Blogger, navigating the options of making a blog briefly explained, as it is very easy using the layout options with only a few things you need to be aware of.